says, and it seems to be working, so that's great. Let's put this down now. So, hello folks, my name is Prodesilaos, also known as Prot. This morning I decided to do this live stream. It is spontaneous, and the idea is for me to work on some of my packages, some of the packages that I have authored and I am the maintainer of. So this will be just me using Emacs and coding. I mentioned in the description of this live stream that I will work on some of my denote packages as well as my new themes for Emacs, the Doric themes. By the way, I always get disoriented. I don't know where to look when I'm talking. So maybe there is a good place. So there is this new package, doric-themes, and the first version will be released maybe tomorrow, we will see, or maybe later today. I am waiting for the GNU-ELPA machinery to process the commit I made and to build the package incorporated in the archives, and then I can start pushing new versions to it. I have a chat there, and if there are any questions, I will respond to them, though my focus will be on the code. So I will be coding, I will be maintaining my packages, but if there is something there, I am happy to address it. And as I said, this is just a spontaneous stream. I thought about it like 3 hours ago, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? So hello, Anshul. Anshul says, I recently got into Emacs. I've known you before that. And I've been using your themes and was just this morning trying the Doric themes. Very well, very well. So the timing is good, it seems. Let's start then. Let me bring up Firefox. And this should be it. Let's go to the repository of denote-sequence. Here we are, and there is an issue here, and this person is saying best way to create new parent nodes from an existing node. And basically what they want is to be able to take a node, a denote file name, and assign to it a sequence, which is a parent sequence. This is the plan. So I have the denote sequence here, but let me also, by the way, let me enable keycast so you can see the keys I press on the mode line over there. Okay, and as always, if you have any question of what I am doing, I'm happy to respond. Let me now go to the denote test silo here. And the idea of what this person is asking is to take any of those files that already exist and assign to it a sequence, such as this over here, one here and 1A. 1A means the first child of 1, and 1A1 means the first child of 1A, which is the first child of 1. And the idea with sequences, for people who use them, is to establish a hierarchy of your nodes, of your files in general. They don't have to be text files. They can be any kind of file like PDFs or images and video files, and anything will work. And so what this person is asking is we take a file, any file, for example, like this, and we create a new parent with it, meaning that here I have number 1, number 2, number 3. I should be able to create a new parent, which in this case will be number 4. And the technical way of doing this is, let me do it manually first. MX denote rename file. So the technical name, the technical way to do this is to rename the file, keeping its title intact, keeping its keywords intact, and then assigning to it a signature. So I need to do that. Now I didn't do anything because it's the same as it was. So let's go here. And we have a command called reparent here. And the command reparent will take a file, any file, and will rename it using the denote file naming scheme, and make it a child sequence of a given file with a sequence. This is the idea, and that's what the concept of reparenting means here. We could also have an alias for this, which would be adopt, like the given file with a sequence adopts the current file as its child. But I think reparent is fine. The idea with reparent, if we see the code here, is that fundamentally we do a rename operation, as you can see. We rename it, it's the current file, we keep the title, we keep the keywords, and we assign a new sequence. And what you will notice here is that we just change the new sequence, and otherwise everything else is the same as it was. So let me then take this idea of the reparenting, and what I want to do here is, instead of reparent, make new parent. Rename as parent, let's call it. Rename as a parent. And this will be the current file. And let me see here. Make current file a new parent sequence. This is the idea. If current file has a sequence, do nothing. Abort the operation. When called interactively, current file is either the current file or a special org buffer, like those of org capture, or the file and point in dred. Okay, this whole thing has to be encapsulated in a function, because I notice here, this is what we are doing. So this whole logic has to be its own function in order for me not to be repeating it and then eventually creating problems down the line. This is not relevant. This is from the reparenting operation. When called from Lisp, current file is a string pointing to a file, and this is no longer relevant. And here we are. The idea is to remove that so that we have only the logic for current file. And then what we want to do very simply, first of all, we want to say denote-sequence file P. Oh, one second, I haven't evaluated the buffer. Okay, denote-sequence file P. This means return the sequence if denote signature of file is a sequence. Okay, so what we will say then, unless this and for the current file, so if the current file has let me phrase it differently. When the current file does not have a sequence, continue. But if the current file has a sequence, then I want you to produce an error. The current file, which we will have here, already has a sequence. Aborting. Okay, and then current file. This is the idea. Otherwise, we continue. And what we will do here is pretty simple. We want to have a new sequence, new child here, get a new parent, I believe. We have a function for that. That is the plan, and we don't have an argument. Okay, and I think this is it, folks. Let me see first if this works. Let's evaluate. Let's go back to our test silo. And let's take, for example, this one. And let me do denote sequence, what was it? Rename parent. Rename as parent. Okay, here. What is it? Already has a sequence, aborting. Okay, that was wrong. It doesn't have a sequence. Let me see. Okay, let's see what this does. If I am here and I do a val expression, and here I provide the path, this returns nil. So instead of unless, I have the wrong logic. I should say when. Okay, so when it has a sequence, then produce an error. Unless means when not. Then let's do again the interactive, rename as a parent, and the tag, it did it, and it's number 4. Looks correct to me. Let's do another one here, setting up Jekyll. Actually, let's do this Magritte pipe, which is JPG. Let's do, and this should become number 5. And this is number 5 over here. That's good. Note that it also changes the order of the file name components because of some user option. I am just testing things, that doesn't matter. The point is that this is doing the right thing and it looks right to me. Let's come back to the denote-sequence. And let's add an auto-load cookie here, folks. Before I continue, let me explain 2 things. The first is this form of the interactive, which may not be obvious what is happening here. So let me explain, because you saw already in the documentation string where we have logic for what happens in interactive usage and what happens when we call the function programmatically, when we call it from Lisp. When you define a function, you define a list of parameters. In this case, we have a list of 1 parameter. This means a list of no parameters, which is the same as nil. The list of parameters inside of an interactive specification can be mirrored here. So we will have a list again, and then each element of this list corresponds to the element of this list here, of the parameters. And so we say that in interactive use, the list of parameters consists of this element, and then whatever this function does to return some value, that is bound to, in this case, current file. And if you have many parameters, let's see it here. For example, here we have 2 parameters, the current file and file with sequence. Here we will see that this is the first element. We see list, the first element, thus current file. And then over here, we see the second element, which is the file with sequence, the target file, if you want. And so we say that if you call this with Emacs or with a key binding, here is how you get the parameters, the value of, like the arguments. But if you call it from Lisp, well, you have to provide those yourself. This looks very nice. That's the one thing. The other thing is this fancy statement over here, the auto-load cookie. When you use Emacs without loading any package, you can do something like Emacs and you will get approximately 1 zillion commands over here. These are not actually loaded. What happens is that Emacs keeps a concept of auto-loads, which are symbols that it is aware of, that it knows are defined in a given file. And when you call that symbol, what Emacs will do is it will check if the file has been loaded. If the file has not been loaded, it will go load the file and then call your function, which doesn't have to be a function, by the way. It may also be a variable. But it will anyway evaluate that symbol. So by having all these auto loads, we as developers achieve 2 things. 1, we define the points of entry. And 2, we make it easier for the package to be loaded when it is needed, rather than be loaded at startup and then make things slow. Imagine having to load like 6,000 commands at startup. That will take much longer than you would like. And of course, I know there are people who are like, oh, but why do you care about startup time? Well, you care. If you are developing packages, you care, where you have to close Emacs and restart it. You cannot just sit there and twiddle your thumbs. Um, this is good, very good. So I will make this commit, and I will inform the person about it. I will also document this command, but I will do that later. So let's not worry about it right now. But actually, no, wait. Before I commit, no, actually, let me commit. Let me commit, and then we will do something else. And the idea is define new command. Okay, and then I want to mention the person who is, what's their name? Alex Carney. Let's see. This is in response to issue, whatever was the number, issue 4 by Alex Carney. Let's have it like this. Very good. Okay, push. That's nice. Let's see what is happening. Why is it taking so long? Okay, that's good. Let's go to sequence here. And now I will abstract this into its own function. But let me take a quick look at the chat because I saw some comments there. Okay, just two comments. Hello, alternate, Ved. Hello, prod. Good luck with your maintenance. Thank you. Also, that's a really nice shirt. So thank you very much. I've had it for many years now, and generally this is how it is with my clothes. I try not to throw stuff away unless, of course, I have to. Let's go now and define this function here, which is denote-sequence get current file. And it's as simple as this. Get current file for renaming. Okay. Return path to file for a rename operation. The path is that of the special org buffer, like org capture. The file at point in a dred buffer, or the buffer file name. Okay, this is good. The rest comes from core denote. Here, the variable buffer file name. Okay, so we have this. And what we want to do here is do it like this. Beautiful. And now let's come here and let's transpose those. So that is further up. And let's put this here. Beautiful again. I don't know if I would need a function for this over here. I think it's fine. Okay, evaluate. And let me see if I am using this somewhere else. Oh, sorry. Where are we? Let's see. Are we using this somewhere else? Come on. Oh, sorry, wrong key binding. Okay, that's good. That's good. Very good. Let's evaluate and let's go to the test silo over here. And let's see here. Do our command again. This becomes 6. And then let's also do a reparent. Denote-sequence reparent. And let's also confirm that this works. I want this to be a child of, let's say, 6. 6a, beautiful. Let's go. Okay, and what is this? Oh, what happened here? Oh, when you do a transposition, it doesn't actually move the autoload cookie as well. That's fine. Let's have this here. Okay, good, good, good. Define helper function to get the file path of a rename operation, the current file path. It should be for a rename operation, but no worries. We don't worry about the grammar. That's fine. We are good. So let me go to Alex here. Hello, Alex. Indeed, we did not have such a command. I just defined the denote sequence rename as parent command. Please give it a try and let me know how it works for you. Okay, comment. Good. Off it goes. So yeah, this was it for the denote sequence. We are good with this package. Let me see, I saw something in the chat moving. So hello to Kostas, Kalimera from my side. So Kostas, of course, is a fellow Greek. Hi, Prodesilaos, although I usually prefer dark themes, this one looks really good. So thank you. This one, the specific theme here, is called Doric Marble. And it's one of my new themes. Of course, I have dark themes in this collection as well, but if I have a dark theme right now, because of the environmental light, it will be very hard for me to work in that theme. The idea with the Doric themes, as you can tell, is to have minimal coloration. Of course, they still have some colors, but you will notice that mostly it's gray, okay? This is the idea, or really, really faint colors. And then maybe the line highlight will be a little bit more colorful, but this is the idea. Minas Mazar says, hello everyone, greetings from Italy, greetings from the mountains of Cyprus, and Kostas Andreadis, another fellow Greek. Hello Prot and everybody, hello to you, Costa. Let's continue then. This is done. What I now want to do, let's dismiss this, and what I now want to do is come to the Doric themes, actually. And what I like, here are the themes, right? These are the ones. You can test them on your own and see which ones you like. As I said, the package will be available maybe later, maybe tomorrow. We will see when the first version will come out, but soon enough. What I want to do now is change the color of that scroll bar over here. You may see it like here. It looks really intense, this gray bar over here. It looks really intense, and I will just rotate through the themes. Let me start with the Doric light. This is the Doric light theme, and now I will rotate through the themes for us to see how it looks. Doric marble here, Doric earth, Doric wind, and this is Doric dark. Doric dark will look like modus vivendi to people who know my modus themes, but without all the extra colors. Doric obsidian, Doric fire, Doric water, and that's it. So I will keep marble since that is what I was using earlier. The point is that that scroll bar looks really intense and I don't like it. So what I want to do is find the scroll bar face. Here is the scroll bar face. And right now, scroll bar has a foreground and a background. The foreground is the color used for the scroll bar, whatever it's called, the thumb or whatever this is called. Basically, this darker color is the foreground. It's the darker color and also the border around the bar. And the background is the background of the bar. So I think the background is not bad. Maybe it should be lighter. I don't like it to be as intense, but it is like that. One second. Why is my not much indicator mode enabled? Let's disable it so that we have more things to see. Here you will notice that I have which function mode. And which function mode shows me where I am, like what is the definition I am on right now. So this is a variable, the Doric themes subtle shadow faces. We can see that over here, subtle shadow faces. And the idea with this, just so you get a sense of how the themes are designed, the idea with this is that I have a function which takes all the faces of a variable and assigns to them all the face properties or the face attributes. So let's take this function so that you get an idea of what this outputs. Let's remove that. Let me actually have the line wraps, and let's print this. And so you get a sense of what this prints. Maybe this is just too busy for you to make any sense of it, but the idea, if we extract one element, is that it will do something like this, which is the same as, let's have it here, it is the same as this. Okay, so this is the same as the line below. I write it like this because in terms of the macro, it's easy to define it like this than to insert a quote like that. But the code is the same, so it doesn't really matter. The point is that right now the scroll bar is defined as part of the subtle shadow faces, whereas what I want is to give it its own style. So let's go back to the scroll bar. And thus I will have to remove it from the subtle shadow faces. And then let's go somewhere here. We define the separator line. So let's have here. Now I will try. I will just use the BG main, and then for the foreground, I will just use, let's just use the BG shadow subtle. Let's use that. So these are two background colors. And now that I evaluated it, let me just load the theme. I will just reload the marble theme. Okay, we see that this is now too light, so it cannot be as subtle as this. What if I make the intense background? So the intense background is the one used on the mode line, this darker gray in this case, but it's not necessarily gray, right? For example, if I go to the Doric Earth theme, we see that it is like a copper kind of color. If I go to Doric Wind, it's teal, and basically you get the idea. It's not necessarily a gray color. This color looks better to me, but I get the sense that it is too subtle still. Too subtle, and I would say also, depending on the theme, it's too colorful. Like, I would rather have a neutral color there than some purple or red or whatever. Like, this red over here is barely legible. Of course, legible doesn't make sense because we are not reading, but barely discernible. This is the problem we have now. If I make it intense, for example, I will use the main foreground, and let's load the theme. Now it is super intense, and maybe there it's not a problem, but if you are in a buffer that is contains all the contents, then the scroll bar looks super intense. And if I do something like this, now I gave it color. Actually, this color looks nice in terms of style, like aesthetically, I like it. It is consistent with the theme. It is pleasing to the eye, I would say, but it is still too intense. So for me, it violates the principle of do not exaggerate, avoid exaggerations. So in other words, it violates the principle of subtlety, and or the principle of minimum viable necessity, let's say. So let me try the shadow subtle face, which is what it was using before, but now we are using it with the main background. And I would say this still has the problem I originally had, where it's still too prominent, too intense. I don't really like it. And so, of course, if I use the intense as well, that will still be too much. And of course, folks, what this means is that I have to define a new color here, um, but I'm not sure how to call it yet. For now, let me just do this. Let me just use gray 50. And what does this do? Gray 50 looks like basically the right color. The problem with Gray 50 is that it is not consistent with all the themes. Like maybe now we cannot see it because the scroll bar is small. But for example, here in the Doric fire theme, the background is not actually black. It is a very dark yellow, a very dark yellow. Of course, it's brownish. But the point is that yellow, even if it's dark, with gray doesn't make for a good combination. So I need a color that is specific to the current theme. So I have to define colors. I cannot use gray 50 over there. So this is the next thing. Let me just say hello to a couple of people here. Theo here says, hello, Prodesila. Could you care to explain in brief what is your methodology for create themes? So I will comment on that, but first let me say hello to a couple of people. Morten says, hello, Prot. Greetings from Samso, Denmark. So hello to you, Morten, from the mountains of Cyprus. And Spiros says, good morning from Athens. Kalimera, Spiro. I love the F themes. Excited to check out the Doric themes as well when they are ready. So very good, very good. Let's see. Basically, F themes are my maximalist themes, and Doric themes are the minimalist themes, and somewhere near in the middle are the modus themes. This is the idea. So to connect to what Theo was asking, and I will assume, Theo, that you are Greek because you write protesila, so kalimera to you too. The idea with the themes is that I want them to conform with basically two broad objectives. The first objective is for them to be legible. Generally speaking, I want to be able to read the text. I don't want it to be super subtle text, this almost invisible kind of gray against the gray. I don't care about that. Even if it looks pretty, it's not functional. So for me, it has to be legible. That's the first thing. And the second thing is what I mentioned a bit earlier, which is whatever style I am pursuing, whether it is a minimalist style, a maximalist style, or something in between, it has to do it in a way that avoids exaggerations. Like if I have like a maximalist style, like with the F themes, for example, I don't want to overdo it. Like something, let's say it's red. I don't want to also add to it an underline and a bold weight and also italics. Like I don't need to emphasize the emphasis. And if something is red, let's say, it doesn't need to be right next to something which is an intense blue or an intense green, because then the contrast between the two, the tension between the two, is something that you are naturally attracted to because it doesn't feel right. And you're like, what is this disturbance over there? Whereas when it is done right, even when the colors are intense, they do not feel disturbing. And this is something that you can see with my modus themes if you use them for a while. Like the first impression may be, oh my goodness, what is this? Like I'm not used to such high levels of contrast. But if you use it for, let's say, 1 week, then you will appreciate this consistency of avoid exaggerations. Just do what you have to do and don't be over the top. This is generally the plan. Script says Kalimera Prot, Kalimera to you as well. And let's go. Let's go and define some colors, folks, and we can talk later. By the way, to all the Greeks over here, I expect you to be drinking cafe frappe right now. Otherwise, are you even trying? I mean, seriously. I don't. I have just water here, so too bad, too bad. Let's get to it. Since I am using Doric Light right now, let's go and define a new color here. The way the palettes are designed, and this is not final, so don't rely on this yet, but the idea is that each palette is an association list, and each element of it is a list which has two elements, the symbol, or the name of the color, and then the color value. And we see how it is like this. I already have a preview of the colors thanks to rainbow mode. And so what I want to do then is I want to define a new color specifically for the Doric themes. I want to be really conservative with the colors I introduce. And even those colors, I don't know if I will keep them. So the idea is for them to define as few colors as possible. I will now define a color called border because I think I also need it for the border between the windows, even though I cannot see it right now. Let me do. Yeah, the border here is too subtle as well. Even though that is nice, I still prefer it to be a little bit more prominent in the interest of usability. But first, let's focus on the scroll bar. Here then, I will define a new color called, let's call it border. I think border is a good value. The subtle shadow is already a faint blue over there. And I want right now to have something that is gray, and BG main looks white in this case. The shadow intense is a more prominent blue. So I would say for this one, let's go with this gray. And I will test it, of course. And let me also try it with the dark, Doric dark, the main. Let's come here. And we will see, folks. The idea here, I think this will look good. Let's see. Let's evaluate the variable here, and let's do it also for Doric dark. But let me go now to the Doric themes here, and let's gray 50. Let's make it border. Okay. So now let me load the light theme. Okay, I think this is right. I think this, oh, this is beautiful. Um, this is really good. Maybe it could be a little bit lighter, but let me see the dark as well. Let's see. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. I like it. In both cases, it can be a little bit lighter. So this means darker for the dark. Sorry, this is light. This is not dark. So here I want to make it lighter. Let's have it like this. Okay, and this will be for the Doric light. And then for the dark, let's go here, and this will become, let's do 7. Yeah, I think this will be very good. Let's see, and let's try the dark. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. I think this is the right color, folks. And let's try the light. Beautiful. This is a thing of beauty. I will keep this. Now, the border is a face I wanted to introduce anyway, because also the mode lines, we don't see it right now, but the mode lines need work. The mode line inactive in particular, its box should be that of border here, and maybe here too. Let me see. Let's do the light theme. Yes, very good. Because before I could see a bluish color. It was barely visible, but it was there. And I have to notice these sorts of details. That's basically what theme development entails. This is good though, very nice. So let's continue. Let's do this for all the themes. Let's go to Doric Earth. Let me load the Doric Earth. And up, 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 up. Of course, I loaded it before defining a border, so it broke the package. Let me just define something here to bring it back to life, and then we will see what we can do. Earth. Okay, good. Let's see. So, hello, says Ali from Kuwait. Hello to you too from the mountains of Cyprus. Theo says, awesome. Thanks for the explanation. You are welcome. And the Nameless Monster says, hello. Hello to you, Nameless Monster. Let's do now the Doric Earth border color. Gray, as I said, is not that bad, but it feels more neutral than it needs to be, because what we want now is a light ochre color, or in this case a darker ochre color, but it has to be a bit more yellowish, a bit more earthly if you want. What did I use for the light? Let me see. For the light I used BBB, so we are in the B range. That looks right to me, but F0 is the default here, so it cannot be B. Let's try A2, 9D, and it's D, so it would be 8. F would be good, but let's try this. Okay, it's sufficiently gray. Let me actually make it a bit more yellowish. So let's make it here like this. Okay, okay, this looks more yellow. Of course, I don't know how accurate is the color reproduction, but trust me, these things matter. Now it's too light. It sort of gets there, but I think it's a bit too light right now. Let me see. No, it's not too light actually. Hmm. It's not too light. I am on the right path. I am doing it well. Let me make it actually a little bit darker. So let's make this here. Yeah, let's make it a little bit darker. Earth. Yeah, this is it. Let me see how it is in DRED in a full buffer. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go now to the next theme. And I also noticed the mode lines, they look nice. Let's go to the next theme. Let's go to a light theme first, and we do the dark themes later. Let's come to Doric Marble. And well, Doric Marble has a neutral background. This is, so for the Doric light, we had B0, B0, B0. So actually here, given this is E-ed, we will do, let's try this. Let's try this and see what we can do. Of course, I know the colors basically um, by heart. Yeah, this looks right. This looks perfect. Wow, a perfect shot. That's beautiful. Let's come here and let's continue. We are Doric Wind now. And the Doric Wind is a bit more gray, sorry, a bit more green. Let me first load it up. What did I do? I didn't evaluate here. Okay, and of course, here we are. Let's bring up DRED here. Again, gray, like pure gray here, neutral gray, on a greenish theme doesn't look bad, but I would rather, within the same range here, have the desired color. So let's do here 8C, and 8F. Let me see. So that looks like a bluish, slightly bluish green. Let's see. Okay, I like it. Again, this is a really subtle difference, folks. My monitor has good color reproduction. One time when I configured it, I spent 8 hours to get it right. And yeah, I don't recommend you try that at home. But yeah, this is what you have to do if you want to do it right. And actually, it is wrong because what I see now is a bit too green. So what I want to do is tone it down a little bit, but not by reducing the green, but rather by increasing the channels of blue and red. Let's have it like this. Because if I reduce the red, if I reduce the green, I will make it too light. And actually, I need to make it even more green. Let's have it here. Actually, I have to increase it substantially now. Let's see, folks. Yes, this looks right. This looks better. And actually, I would say that it can be a bit better as well. I am not satisfied. Let me see. This will probably do it. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go now and do the same for the dark themes. So we did Doric dark. Let's go Doric fire here. And of course, the color. Earlier we did 7-0 for that, but here we start from the number 2. So it will have to be in the A range. Let's do A5. Oh, sorry, one second. I have the curtain there. A5, let me think. A0, 9, 8. Let's try that. Sufficiently good. Fire. It is fire. It is fire, I'm telling you. Let me compare it to Doric Dark. Okay, it's too bright. So what I did here is too bright. We have to change it. Yeah, I see the intensity popping out as I change. It's too bright, meaning that we have to come down considerably. Let's do here. Let's do um, like this and like that. Hmm. Let's see now. Yes, yes, yes. And I gave it that yellowish tint, but I need to make it darker still. Okay, okay. I would say even darker. Yeah, yeah. Let's see, folks. Okay, this looks right. Let me compare it to Doric Dark. Yes, 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 yes. Fabulous. I see some comments there. Let me just say, let's see where we are. So Nameless Monster says hello. Capability Snob has an emoji of what appears to be like a wave. So yeah, that is cool. I am in the mountains though, so even though I am Greek, I am far away from the sea, and yeah, it feels like I am doing it wrong. Pablo says, hi from California, about to hit bed. Yeah, it must be like we have 10 hours apart. So yeah, you are late. So good night for you. Nameless Monster says, from India, I watch your videos for Emacs. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to help. Ali says, just wanted to ask about your monitor. What hardware do you use to ensure color correctness? So the monitor here is an LG monitor. I believe it is an IPS kind of display. And the way I did it was to use actual physical colors. Like I had um, like samples of color. Now I have like just a notebook here, but I would have like samples of different colors that I got, and then I would compare, and then the closest I could get given brightness and all that. So it's not with 100% correctness in terms of hardware, but it's the closest I could get to the perception of color. This is the idea. AA Parky says, good morning from Aberdeen. So good morning to you. It's the northeast of Scotland, home of the Doric. Oh, you have to tell me more about that. What do you mean about that? Because Doric, of course, maybe it means something in your native tongue. Like I believe in Scotland the native tongue is called Gaelic. Maybe like you don't speak it, like maybe you speak in English, but I think the Celtic language of Scotland is Gaelic, maybe, but I'm not sure. So I'm curious what Doric means to you, because to Greek people, Doric refers to a tribe, an ancient Greek tribe, the Dorians, and specifically Doric refers to a style. You know the ancient Greek temples, and you see the pillars that they have. The word Doric refers to how ornate, or rather, the lack of them being ornate, the pillar head is. So the top of the pillar. So there are basically three styles. There is the Corinthian style, which is Baroque, let's say, it's the most ornate. There is the, I believe, Ionian style. Right now, I forget. Ionia refers to what is modern day Western Turkey. So that part was known as Ionia. And the other one is Doric, which is the most austere. And the idea is that. So these are my most austere themes. So Mikael says the wave equals hello, I guess. Yeah, that sounds right. I am very far inland in Australia, but I can still send a wave. Fantastic. So scraping by with an espresso. Yeah, that sounds right. Not bad. So Parky says Doric is the local language is in the northeast. Wow, look at that. What a nice coincidence there. So the beauty of terms is that we can understand whatever we want in them. And so it works for me, it works for you, it works for everybody. Let's continue. Let's continue with the package, folks, and the work we are doing. So let's come here, and we are at this point. Let me see. I saw just another comment, so I will comment on that and then I will continue. Pranshu says, Prot, just curious. Do you just not swear in the internet, or do you not swear at all? If so, why? So online, I try to avoid it. And generally, I try to be careful with what I say, because everybody is offended by everything these days, so you have to be careful. And even though the intent is never malintent, good luck proving that you didn't have actually bad intentions. So I try to avoid that. Generally, I do not swear, though. Like, I will swear only when I have to get a point across. Like, there are times where you cannot communicate reasonably with someone. Like, you have to tell somebody, like, what the F are you doing? Like, somebody does something stupid, and you cannot just say, hey, dear sir, could I call your attention for a little while? And I want to inquire upon the endeavor you're now pursuing, and thus declare my disagreement. You don't want to say that, because people sometimes need something more direct, something more forceful, and that is where swearing comes in handy. Also, of course, you may know me as now I'm doing some coding, some programming. You may see me do some philosophy videos and stuff. So you may think that I am somebody who grew up with his nose in the books, and basically I am a really polite person, a really calm person. But Nothing could be further from the truth. I am intense, even if it's not always obvious, but I am intense and I have been aggressive, not aggressive as in a bully or anything, but aggressive as in forceful. And I used to swear a lot, and I used to be a hothead much more than I am now. For example, when I would play football, like basically you didn't want to play against me. I would be a nuisance. I would hackle you. I would never let you breathe. I would push you around. I would continue to hound you for the duration of the entire match. It like you would want to be somewhere else. This is the idea. I would be really annoying to play against, and I loved it, of course. But anyway, let's get here. And let's see, where are we? The Obsidian theme. The Obsidian theme has a neutral palette, folks. So what we need then is to have the colors here. Let's do 85, I think. 85 looks right. Let's try this. By the way, all the themes, I like all my themes, right? But if I had to pick one theme, like for the rest of my life, like I am forced to pick one theme, it would be the modus themes. It would be modus operandi, the light theme, and modus vivendi, the dark theme. And if I had to pick one, because of where I live, where it's there is plenty of light, I would have to pick modus operandi. Actually, here, by the way, I made the correct choice in terms of the color, but let me compare it to Doric Dark just to be sure. Oh my goodness, this is so accurate. Like, look at that. Like, I cannot even tell the difference, even though they are not the same color. Oh, very nice, very nice. I see more comments there. Let me see what is happening. What position did you play in football? I was a central midfielder. Depending on who was available, I would play as a defensive midfielder or as an attacking midfielder. So depending on who would be available among my teammates. But my style of play, not talent, right? I'm not saying that I was any good, but my style of play was like, if you know the football player Edgar Davids, maybe you know him. Basically the same. Like Edgar Davids, his nickname was the Pitbull, and basically, I was the same thing. Like, if you have ever played football against a dog, you know exactly what I mean. Like, you can never get past a dog. He will bite you. He will attack your feet. He will do what he has to do to get the ball. And yeah, Davids was like that, and I was like that as well. And my nickname was Dog, or in Greek, Toskili. So there is that. And it also has to do with endurance, because you see a dog running and basically they never stop. This is the idea. And so when it comes to football, when we say somebody is a dog, we mean that somebody has tenacity and they never give up, they never quit. Let's see. Mikael says Katpuchin Mocha here. Those are good themes as well. I really love Gruber Dark theme. I cannot think of which one is Gruber right now. The name is familiar, but I cannot relate it to some color scheme right now. Gmu3 says, Prot, have you tried the text editor Helix? I find it very good. The answer is no. I am aware of it, but I haven't tried it. I'm using Emacs. Basically, it does everything I need. For me, it works. It is beautiful. It is extensible, and whenever I feel like changing something, I can do it. And thus, I haven't found any reason to try another text editor. Of course, I could try it just for science, but other than that, I don't see any reason to switch away from Emacs. Isn't Helix like Vim, but written in Rust? Asks Mikael. I believe no. I believe they do borrow from Vim certain concepts, but they do their own thing. but I don't know much about. Like they have a lot of things out of the box, which are supposed to be more modern and good. I believe actually Helix borrows more from Kakune or however that editor is called, rather than from Vim. I think, but probably I'm wrong because, as I said, I haven't used it. Pranshu asks Ronaldo or Messi, and the answer is none, because it doesn't really matter. What matters is what kind of play you will have, like what kind of team are you setting up. For example, I remember the Porto team, or when Jose Mourinho was a manager, and that was a tenacious side. They won the UEFA Cup the year after they won the Champions League. That was a beautiful side. Then Mourinho had this Chelsea sides, really defensive, really tough to play against. Didier Drogba up front was a monster, phenomenal player. I really liked him. Like, if I had to pick one player to play in the same team with, I would be like, oh, give me Drogba up front. That guy is tough. He will fight with all the defense. That is amazing. And me, I can stay in midfield and kick people or whatever I could do. But the point is that there football is a team game, and I think this idea Messi or Ronaldo, Maradona or Pelé, like, it's nice to talk about, but it doesn't really apply. Like, in football, you can win without having any stars in your team. And proof of that is the Greek football team of Euro 2004. That was a very disciplined side. They played defensive football, which some think is ugly. I think it is beautiful, because to play defense is not easy. Very disciplined, very well drilled, and they beat everybody, and they did it fair and square. Like, and they were actually undefeated in the qualifiers. Like, not undefeated. They went on an undefeated run in the qualifiers and eventually won the cup. That was an amazing display of rear guard action, of defensive action. Phenomenal. But if I had to say which of the two is better, Ronaldo or Messi, personally, I think Messi is the more talented player in terms of the sheer magic, like what Messi does. Like, I've never seen anybody do that. Like, ball sticking to his feet. Like, yeah, that's something you don't see. Maybe Maradona had the same kind of magic, but yeah, to me, Messi is like a thing of beauty. But Ronaldo, of course, he is super talented, but he is also a machine. Like, that too, like that kind of work ethic, that kind of commitment is talent in itself. Like, you don't just get that. And I think that is also special. Like, so yeah, I really couldn't pick. Like, anybody, any of the two for me, like, would be a blessing. Like, I wouldn't complain. So of course, folks, I'm here to do Emacs stuff, and now we are talking about random things. But let's continue since we have the comments. Mikael says football equals soccer. Indeed, I have no problem with that. The problem, though, is like my brain. When I think of football, I think of something that involves your feet. So Americans will wear those helmets, yes, and not helmets, helmets, and armor and so on, and they will hug the ball. And while hugging the ball, they pretend to play football. Like, where are your feet? Like, you're hugging it. It's hug ball or something else. So there is that. Of course, I'm kidding. Soccer comes from association football, and there is nothing wrong with it. I know they call it soccer in other parts of the world as well, and it's fine. It's totally okay. Everybody can be wrong. Mikael says, I use NeoVim when I mess up with my init, when I mess up my init.el, which is fine. That's okay. Ronan says, "Hello, Prot. Greetings from Genk, Belgium. That is a beautiful city. I've been to it. I used to live in Belgium, in case you don't know. I was working at the European Parliament, and your country is very, very beautiful. There are many, many cities I liked, many places I visited. Very nice, very nice. And the people are nice, of course." Nasser says, and Eto also, yeah, Eto. I think actually, now that you mention Eto, I think Eto is probably one of the most underrated players in at least the recent Barcelona teams. Like the man won everything, of course, but he was also available and performing as one of the best players on the pitch when it mattered. And for me, that also is something that says that talks to the quality of the player. Like you see these people like Haaland, what's his name? Haaland, I think, on in Manchester City, and Erling, yeah, Erling Haaland. And like he stats pads against teams, like when they win 5-0, he will score 2, 3 goals, which of course is not easy. But then when it comes to a final, he disappears. Like he has gone like I don't know how many finals now without showing up. And I'm like, yeah, okay, what's the point of having the best striker in the world not show up on a final? Like that's when you want him to be the best striker in the world. That's when you want him to show up, take responsibility, and lead from the front. Maybe he will do that later, of course. I'm not saying that he's finished. Of course, he is a great player. But Eto'o had that quality to him of being there. Same for Drogba, now that I mentioned it. Like, same for Drogba. That guy would score in every final. He was inevitable. Let's see. Ariel says, Proto knows about football. Love from Argentina. Yeah, so indeed, I am a fan, I must say. And of course, Argentina. I think, like in Argentina, if you don't know anything about football, probably you are living under a rock, right? I did watch the 2022 World Cup, and I was happy that you won it. That final was thrilling. Um, Mbappe, oh my goodness, he almost ruined it for you guys. But you had your day, and Scaloni, Lionel Scaloni, has basically changed the history of your national team. You were like, from when I started watching football, uh, Argentina was always stacked with talent, but basically perennial losers. Like they were not decisive when it mattered. They would always bottle it. And like I remember, for example, the 2006 squad, and you had some superstars there, and you were like, wow, this team is like full of talent in every position, and they didn't make it. Same for the other tournaments. All those copas you lost the final. The 2014 World Cup final as well. You have. How did Higuain miss that? I'm like, come on, you cannot miss that. And I think Palacio also missed another chance. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, like. But Scaloni changed their history. So you are happy. Messi is happy. Everybody is happy. Helix has many built-in features, and I like an FZF file searcher, themes, easy to integrate language servers and formatters, etc. The default key bindings are convenient for me too. Personally, this all sounds good, but for me personally, any given feature set of an editor is bound to become irrelevant at some point or restrictive. Put differently, what I want in an editor, in a text editor, is extensibility. So, of course, having features out of the box is great, but if I can extend it, or not just me, if the community can extend it, then that's fantastic because now we don't need to wait for the core developers to give us something. Either we implement it ourselves or somebody in the community will do it. And I think that's the value of Emacs and Vim, of course. Vim is also customizable. Nasser says, I've started using Emacs a few months ago, and I think that is a good choice. Morten says, is it possible to load F themes and Doric themes without conflicts between them. Generally, in Emacs, you can load as many things as you want on top of each other, and whether they work or not will depend on the themes and will depend on the order in which you loaded them. But for me personally, that is never a good result. Like, um, unless, of course, you load two of my themes, which are fairly close to each other, and you get something decent. But generally, it doesn't work. Like, just load one theme and take it from there. And if you need to do any customizations to it, do them on top. Script says we need two best strikers in the world, one fine-tuned for the whole season and another one for just the finals. Yeah, exactly. So you need Haaland for the league, basically, so that he can stat pad against the other teams, and then you need the Drogba or Eto'o for the finals, and then you are good. But yeah, which team can have that? Pranshu says, after using the doric themes for like 5 days, I cannot go back to Modus now. The colors seem too distracting, but I kind of desire the vibrancy to simply look good. Uh, yes, I feel you. Of course, there will be an adaptation period, but I think you can still make it. The point, though, and what I want to do with the Doric themes is basically make a statement and say that you do not necessarily need colors to be productive. This is the idea. With careful typography, and of course with some variations, you can already discern patterns. And then you can use color with more intent. This is the idea anyway. By the way, since you are there, I believe you are the same Pranshu who also commented on my GitHub for the themes. We will get to the tab bar because this color I am now doing will also apply to the tab bar. So we are getting there. So let's see. Nasser says, what is the philosophy of Emacs regarding the use of tree in projects? Example, Treemacs. I guess we should use Emacs without project tree, but why? What is the philosophy behind? What to do in a very big project like Java to navigate easily? The philosophy of Emacs is, I would say, basically a lifestyle, which is be unapologetic about your preferences. And this is Emacs. So Emacs is telling you, here is something that you can customize. Now take it and customize it to your heart's content. Customize it as much as you like, and don't ask others if they agree with it or not. Basically, this is the Emacs way of doing things. Of course, you can ask others for best practices or whatnot, but not for whether you should be liking something. That's the point. So if you like tree, like in Treemacs, use Treemacs. It's a fine package. It gets the job done. I see no problem with it. For me, it's a distraction. For me, having just the buffer, it's good. And of course, what you can do is you can do, if you are in a project, depending, of course, on what you are doing, you can do something like, let me have it here. You can do something like the command, which I have now on my mode line. Project find file, and you will get completion, and you can find the files that way. Granted, if you are in a super large project where you need to know the hierarchy and all that, probably you need something like Treemacs. Sure. We have more comments, folks, so let's comment on them. Alternate Aved says, do you plan to support TUI Emacs with Doric themes? The answer is that it should already be supported. And let me show you, for example. If you see here, mode line inactive, we say, if it supports the box, then use a box. If it doesn't support the box, then use an underline. And whatever you are doing, also include these. This is basically what this means over here. And now I will bring up a terminal, and we will try this. But let me have the light theme, because the problem with terminals is that they have to have a color palette that is appropriate for the theme you are using. Otherwise, you need to have to make them have the 256 colors, 256 colors. So let me do Emacs client very quickly. So the problem without the 256 colors is that the color reproduction is really off. And we can see it over here like it's completely off. If I go and do, for example, Doric Earth, let me see. How can I do it now? Doric themes rotate. Okay, this is Doric marble. I would say it still looks off, but Doric earth is a disaster here. This is not right at all. Up, what did I do? I didn't want to do that. I think we have to do term. I have this somewhere in the manual of the Modus themes. Xterm color 256, and then Emacs client. No window. Let me see now. No. Let me see. Up. Sorry. Echo term. I have. Oh my goodness. I have the. Hmm. So why isn't this working? If my terminal is correct, maybe I need to do this. It's oh my goodness. It's 256 color. 256 color, not color 256. Let's try it like this. No, this is still a disaster. This is completely wrong. And it has to do with the palette here. And the palette, let me see. Oh, yeah, like if you change palettes, eventually it affects it. Like if I do solarized, it happens to be a bit more accurate. But yeah, it's still wrong. Like me personally, I don't use like, yeah, anyway. I don't see the point of having a terminal here. Of course, if you are connecting via SSH and stuff, I understand, but basically it's a compromise. For me, I wouldn't compromise that. Anyway, let's continue. Where are we, folks, even? I have been talking more than I had expected, to be honest. I announced this like 3 hours before, and I wasn't expecting anybody to show up, but here we are. So let's see. Um, Doric water now is the next theme. The one I did before, I believe, was Doric obsidian. Let's see. It's mostly blue. No, it should be here. Let's see. Let's see here. And maybe that's too blue. Yeah, a bit more gray here. Okay, let's see. But before let's evaluate, I will go to the obsidian theme, Doric obsidian. Okay, and now let's water. Let's do Doric water. Okay. Oh my goodness, I got it right. Fantastic. It looks right. Let me try with Doric dark just to be sure. It's a tiny bit more intense than I would like it to be. Let's make it here. Let's have like this, a little bit darker. And let's see. Yes, this is the correct. So do all my themes now support the border? Let's see. I'm rotating. Okay. No, 1 second. Doric obsidian is still a little bit more intense than it needs to be. I saw it now when I moved from it to Doric dark. And so Doric obsidian. Did I evaluate? Let's see. Okay. I would say it's still too intense. No, let's make it a bit darker here. Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so that's good. Let's see, what do we have? I have defined, folks, just to say that we talked a lot, and I was expecting to do more coding, which is not a problem, of course. Talking is good. Let's see. Uh, let's come here. Okay, let's add them all. Introduce new border color and use it. Okay, this is good. Let's see. I want to do another thing with the Doric themes. Let's load the light theme. I had marble earlier, so let's go with that for now. But first, let me comment on some of the latest comments here. Julien says, "Hey, Prot." So, bonjour, Julien. So, hello to you too. Spiros responds to Nasser regarding navigation, find file, consult, and friends. These are all good. Mikael says, "The support macro you shown was the built-in, or did you define it yourself?" Which support macro? I'm not sure I follow you. So tell me, and I'm happy to answer. You mean this macro over here, maybe? The Doric themes define theme? But yeah, tell me, and I'm happy to respond. Okay, the next theme, the next thing I want to do is the tab bar. Let's do MX tab bar mode, because this is now not good enough. The active tab is fine. If I hover on it, it's fine. But the inactive tabs, if you see, they have the same background as that of the bar itself. And I think that is not right. I don't like that. There should be three backgrounds. There should be a gradation over there. So let's see what we can do. There is the tab bar inactive, which right now, if you can see here, it's defined as having only a foreground. And so I don't want it to have only a foreground. It needs to have a background as well. Um, let's see what we can do about this, folks. Um, Background, BG shadow subtle, and the foreground. Of course, I don't have to do it like this right now, but I want to test it. Let me see what this does. This is basically what it has right now, so this is not good. If we make it here, let me see. If we do border here, what does that do? Yeah, that's too dark. Okay, that's too dark. So we need another color which is not as dark, but which gets the job done. So let's work with that. And by the way, I forgot to implement the border color for the separators. So let's do this very quickly. Um, Separator line. No, this should be like that. And these two over here um, should have the up fat fingers. Anyway, let's do it here. Okay, these two should have that. That's fine. Let's come here to the tab bars and let's see what we can do. We need a new color, but now we don't need it for the inactive actually. What we need it for is for the tab bar as such. Here, the tab bar, and eventually for the tab line. Here, let's put them here. and we will work on it. Okay. Hey, what did you do here? Okay, there. And so I want to define new colors here. Actually, let's leave that for now. The color would be, um, I have to think of what color it would be, how it would be called, and what would be its purpose. Because we don't have anything specific for the mode lines. These are the shadow colors. And so I would rather not call this BG tab, for example. Um, let's call it BG neutral, subtle, because we might need something else later. Okay, neutral subtle, and I think it won't need a foreground. Let's come to the marble theme and see what we can do about this. Let's have the border there. BG neutral subtle, and my plan originally, folks, it was to spend more time on the note as well. But we did some talking, and it took me more time here with the themes. But that's not a problem. This is the whole point of doing a live stream. You start out with something, you eventually do something else. It doesn't matter. It's all spontaneous and it's all fun. Let's have here like this. Uh, no, this is too bright, and maybe that will be too dark. Yeah, this is difficult color to find, get it right. This will be difficult, but let me see. The idea is that I want it to be darker than the main background, but lighter than the BG shadow subtle, which is not much space to maneuver in terms of the color space. But let's try. Let's see what this does. Marble, yeah, so I cannot see anything. I cannot see the difference. It's too fine. And yeah, I cannot even know if it's there. Ah, of course, because, um, one second. Let me just do here to see if I am doing this right. Yes, okay, I am doing it right. But I noticed that the inactive tab has to be included. And let's see, where is it? Tab bar inactive. Where is the inactive? Did I delete it? Probably I deleted it by accident. Inactive. Okay, it's nowhere to be seen. Yeah, okay, okay, okay. Let's have the inactive. We need to have it as well. Here. And this will have to have its background now. Subtle. And the foreground. No, one second, folks. I don't need to have it here because I have a variable for this purpose. It should be in the subtle shadow faces over here. And so tab bar inactive. And let's go now to tab over here. And let's use the BG neutral subtle. And I don't really like the name of this variable. Okay, okay, now it's working. I can see the difference. It's fine, but I see it. Oh, and what happened here? It's too fine. It's too fine. It's not good enough. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. ED and then DE. We don't have enough space. Like we won't be able to do this properly because whatever we do here, we are now in the DE. So maybe I should have a darker color. Let me just use neutral. And if we have like, let's try this. And so let's change the approach here. Okay, and let's take the inactive tab and let's go to the tab bar here and let's have this. And so the idea is let's make the inactive tabs use the BG neutral, and we will see later what's the foreground supposed to be. Let's use the subtle for now. Okay, let's have neutral there, and let's do with the obsidian neutral, and we will see what we can do with this. Let's go with this background, and I need to evaluate, and let's see. Marble. Yes, yes, this is obvious. Now these are obviously distinct, and they are not in your face, like they are not too intense. I think this is good, folks. I think this is good. Now the light is a bit difficult for me to judge the dark background here, because this one here, the scroll bar, was easy because it's a more intense color, but the background, as opposed to its backdrop there, is harder for me to tell. So let's see. I think this is good, so I will go with this for now. And let's then define that for all the themes. But before we do that, let's change where it is neutral. Again, the neutral, I don't like this name. I don't like it, feels ad hoc, but let's keep it for now. And we will see. Let's go to the marble theme. And then we have the border should stay there. And this should go here like this. Okay, and now let's start with our other themes. BG neutral, and this is 0, all 0, so subtle. Okay. Oh, it will need to be. Yeah, I think the Doric obsidian will need to be a bit darker. If this is like the other one was all 40, so let me try this first. Yeah, I would say it needs more. Let's do, and it has to be a little bit more blue because actually the other is like that. Okay, and instead of being more green, it has to be more red and a bit more blue. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, come on. Okay. Again, as I said, it's hard for me to estimate and to judge it appropriately now, but it feels to me like I need more color. I need more intensity. Let's see. And I will get to the chat after this, but let's keep it focused a little bit because, of course, like theme work, maybe because I have done it for a long time, it's not easy work, of course. Like paying attention to all these is not easy. But we will continue, folks. Let's do. Okay. And let's have it here. And I would say, okay, let's try. No, it's too yellow. Too yellow. Let's have it here. Still yellow. Okay, but not, maybe not as much. Let's see, fire. Okay, yes, yes, yes. And again, I cannot really judge it. I need a darker room. I will need to pull the curtains, but I won't do that now because I have the window open. And yeah, this looks better, but it feels too gray. It feels too gray. It shouldn't be too blue. It has to be more yellow so that it is stylistically consistent. And I would say it needs less green even and a little bit more red. Let's see. Okay, I think this is good, but again, we will see. Let's go to the other dark theme. So obsidian, let me change it here. It will have to be darker here for sure. A little bit, no, let's do, I think this will be okay. Let's see. Okay, yes, this looks nice. And let's go to, what was the other one? Water. Okay, BG neutral for the water theme. And the neutral here, ooh, it will be, let's have here. Okay, let me see it in action. Water, too bluish, too greenish, actually, not bluish. And the blue still needs to be toned down. Let's see. Okay, looks still green, still too green. No, I don't like it. Let's have here. And I would say the blue is good now, but let me see. Yes, to me this looks right, but again, I might calibrate those colors. Let's do the light themes and then I get to the chat, folks. So I haven't forgotten you, so don't worry, I'm getting there. The neutral now has to be in the range of C+. Let's do here, and oh, it's more fiery there. Let's do here 8, and then oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. I accidentally typed another key. Let's see, Earth. Okay, wow, I got it. I got it. Yeah, like this is perfect. This is good. Let's go to Doric Light and let's do a BG neutral. And we have now basically two blue colors. One is faint blue, the other is more clearly blue. But what we would need is to be in this range, a little bit more green, and then a little bit more blue as well, like that. Let's see. Light. Good, very good. I would say a tiny bit less blue, but this is like marginal. I mean, you can barely see it. Yeah, Yeah. No, actually, before it was better. Before it was better because the blue behind it is now more intense. Okay, now it blends in. And actually, I would say it even needs a bit more like that with a little bit of green as well. Let's see. Yes. This is good. And marble, did I do it? Yeah. And which one I haven't done? Wind and BG neutral. And what we want now is something that is more green, again in the range of the sea here. And okay, like that. It's marginally more green. Maybe it needs to be a little bit more like this. No, it feels wrong. It feels wrong already. Yeah, with more blue to it. Let's see. Wind. Let's see. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's too yellowish. Too much yellow. Yeah, that looks right. Let's see. Now it's a little bit more green than I would like it to be, but I want it to be darker as well. Anyway, so this is good. It's still, let's see. Okay. No, I think it's still not neutral enough. Let's see. A little bit more red to it. Let's see. It's hard for me to judge this one. I feel the blue needs to be amplified. And after this, I'm coming to the chat, folks. I think this is good. Let me rotate through the themes and see that no theme breaks, which would mean that all of them define the color. I notice inconsistencies in the intensity, like Doric marble here is too intense. So let me fix that. It's too intense. It cannot be like this. Even higher. Yeah, let's try here. Let's do marble. Yes, this is better. And I would say it's still too intense. Okay, yeah, better. Let's see. Earth looks good to me. I would say it can be toned down a little bit. Let's go and do that. And toned down means made brighter. Here, let's have this. Okay, let's try it. Earth. Okay. Maybe I made it too bright. But it's close, very close. Let's see. Too dark. No, I liked the previous one. And now I will do this fine change here. Yes, this is better. Let's see, where are we now? Doric wind looks nice. This is too bright right now to me, but because it's a dark theme and the light now distorts, like the sun basically doesn't help me right now. So I will commit this and then I will review it. But the light themes, I would say, look good here. Yes, they look good. They look better. Okay, so I will do that, but let me see the chat. Let's see where we are. And how far are we? The supports box. So the supports box is built into Emacs. Like when you are defining a face, actually, let me let's discuss this a little bit. Let's go to the scratch buffer here, and let's delete all this. So you define a face like testing, and when you define a face, it is here a list of specifications, and then the face attributes. So for example, the background, okay? And it will have a color, let's say black, it doesn't matter. So you will have here, let's now write the anatomy of a face. So this is an element, and these are the specifications and the attributes. Okay, and the specifications here is a list of specifications, okay, like this, which of course you can remove the list, so it's specifications, and the attributes can also be a list, but you don't need to do it, okay? So this is in abstract what it looks like. Now, here are the specifications. The specifications can be something like this. So it's a list of specifications. It can be something like this: supports, and then box key. So that's one of the specifications. Another specification will be something like minimum colors 88, for example. This is another specification. And then background dark, for example. Okay. And so here is something like it's a list of specifications. We see them. And let me just come here and define a macro really quick, a keyboard macro to be precise. Let's have some space so that we see it, okay? It's a list of specifications here. And each specification will tell us something about if Emacs supports whatever it is we have here. Actually, I don't know if background is correct or this is correct. So please don't focus on the symbols and just try to understand the idea here. It's these which come from Emacs, and they are documented in the frame specifications. I forget where it is. But if you search for def face or defining faces, that sort of thing. So we have all these. And basically what we say implicitly, if all these are true, then go ahead and add the following styles. For example, over here, it's white, and then it's a box, and the box is just a box, whatever, like this. And then that's one of our conditions. Another condition would be something like this. Let's have it with spaces around, and the light, okay? And then for the light, we would want to have basically the opposite here. So it would be, instead of a black background, it would be a white background. This is the sort of thing we do. And then T means everything else, the fallback. And let's say the fallback is gray, whatever. Okay, this is how it goes. And what you can do as a specification that covers all of them is you can do the here default, and let's say by default I want them all to inherit the bold weight, or the bold face rather. And so this is the same as writing inherit bold in every one of the attributes, but you just state it above and it applies to all of them. And this is generally how we write a face in Emacs. Here we are declaring a face, but if we were to set the value of a face, we would actually do the same thing. And so if we go here, now we can see what this means actually. Here, it's a list of specifications, right? And the only condition we have is the true, which is the fallback. And the only attribute we add here is that. Okay, maybe that makes sense now. But now you can understand this better. So for this phase, we have all these conditions, and this is one association, like one set of specifications, and this is basically specifications and the attributes. And same idea for something like this. by default use all these, meaning use them for this, but also for this. And then this is true if the specifications are true, and otherwise we use this. Okay, so that's how it is. Let me know if something is not clear. Alternative ed says, I usually use xterm direct. Correct, yes, yes, that's true. And I also document that in the Modus Themes manual. So let me actually try this. Term is equal to xterm direct Emacs client no window. And if I now do Doric themes rotate, yeah, this is accurate. And this should be the most accurate you get. Yeah, this looks pretty close. Like some colors are still a little bit off, but this is as close as you get. So there is that. I mentioned this in the Modus Themes manual. Let's see. Okay, very good. Let's see where we are. I prefer GUI Emacs whenever it's possible, but I work remotely in Emacs, unfortunately. I see, I see. Therefore, you have to SSH into the machine. Understandable. Manu Moreno says, Hi, Prot. Cheers from Northern Spain. So cheers to you too from the mountains of Cyprus. Northern Spain must be really different than the rest of the country, right? I think it's rainy there, and depending on where you are on the Atlantic. So, yeah, that will be a nice part of the country. I wonder if you are in the Basque country or, let's say, somewhere in Vigo. Like, what is this? Sorry, what is happening here? Why is it? I'm trying to click and it's producing this. Anyway, let's see. So Manu is saying, I was wondering if you have any ideas for decreasing the text of LSP UI sideline. The hooks I have are not working. Thank you. You will have to show me what you are doing, what this is, because off the top of my head, I don't know how this even looks. But yeah, if you show me something, maybe I can help you. Pranshu asks, why does your scroll bar look so good? Well, it's my scroll bar, so of course it has to look good, right? But no, just kidding. The reason is that I build Emacs without the X toolkit. System, configuration, options, and you will see this is how I build Emacs. I actually did a publication recently where I talked about how I build Emacs on Debian stable. And now that I mentioned this, in case you don't know, I don't just do videos. I publish a lot on my website. So not specifically you, Pranchu, but anybody. Like videos is just the least of what I actually do. So I write a lot and I write on a number of topics. But here, the point is this one. No toolkit, and no pseudo 3D scroll bars. Who thought that is a good idea? I hate that style. I don't like pseudo 3D anywhere. So banish that, send it to oblivion, and the same for the toolkit. We don't need it. Let's have Emacs, and this is nice. It works. Let's see. Have you tried Medley Interlisp out of Xerox PARC? It's not such a nice UI. It's got such a nice UI. The answer is no, and Xerox sounds like something I've heard of before. It sounds like a company. I am vaguely aware of this name, but otherwise the rest here doesn't register. I don't know what you are referring to, so I cannot connect the dots. Morten says, why not use Trump? Alternative ed. Why don't you do that? So I don't know. Personally, I tried Trump for a little while. It worked okay, but I don't know how it copes with connections, because if it's slowing things down, then you don't want Trump. You want to use SSH and then connect to a remote Emacs and basically be as fast as possible. Still enjoying the F themes. Yeah, that's good. They are perfectly fine. They will continue to be fine, of course. Me writing a new package that involves themes doesn't change the other project as well. And of course, I'm still maintaining everything, right? So not to take anything away from those. Brancher says, for some of the themes, I think the HL line phase looks too strong. So yeah, that can be toned down a little bit, though again, it's about finding the right balance because, for example, here you may say this is too strong, right? But specifically with the HL line phase, you should be able to see it, for example, on a background that is a bit darker, like this, you see? And you should be able to also see, if you see now the matching parentheses, they have a background color, which is highlighted. And so all these have to be distinct. And of course, when you have an active region, it has to be distinct as well. So there is some fine tuning to be done. Yes, I agree. For example, the obsidian, the Doric obsidian has a darker highlight than, for example, Doric dark. So yes, I have noticed this as well, but it's a fine task. And specifically for the dark themes, I need to have a dark room to be able to get the exact colors. So consider this a work in progress. Let's see. I wonder if you could have some of those computed from HSL. The answer is yes, but me personally, I work with hexadecimal RGB, and I know the colors, how they will look without even seeing them. Like I have a general idea of what I'm targeting, and then it's a matter of the eye test, because I have seen basically color schemes that are produced by some program where you just change the color values and you change the HSL in this case, and you're like, okay, I want a gradation, or I want, let's say, from dark to light, therefore I will go in steps of lightness, and thus I have from dark to light. But generally, when you work with colors that are not gray, this doesn't look good. I mean, black or white. And actually, to your point, let me go here to the stash because I have, do I have here a stash? Yes. I have a function, and you will see it here. This was a proof of concept. Can we actually see it here? This was a proof of concept kind of function. And let's see it. What is this nonsense over here? Okay, let's see. The idea is that you take a color, like a pure black color in this case, and you adjust it by 10%, for example. And you get a color that will look right. Let's adjust it by 30% so that it's more obvious, okay? We get a color that is gray. So this is good, this is fine. But now what happens if we take a color, actually, let's go to one of our themes. Oh, sorry. Let's have here, and let's go to the fire theme, and let's get the BG main. What happened here? Let's get this color now, which has a little bit of red to it. And let's see. Now it turned yellow. Now it's not right. So brightening it or lightening it or whatever is not always as straightforward. And if we look at the code, can I see the code here? If we look at the code, I'm actually using built-in functions, so I'm not redefining anything. Basically, they have a concept of lighten, they have the concept of darken, and even if you see how it is done with the HSL, of course, we don't need to go into the technicalities, but basically they change the L, right? They adjust the percentage of the L, and it's not as simple as that. Like for me, you can do it mathematically and you will be almost there. But for me, there is the art side of it as well, which is Like I have to also see it and get a feel for it if it's right. This is at least how I approach it. So having something that is just mathematically done will be okay most of the time, but I think that there will be something there that is missing, that je ne sais quoi quality that we call art. And I think you need that if you are designing themes. At least this is how I do it. Maybe I'm wrong, so anybody who strongly disagrees is welcome to go ahead and prove me wrong, and then we will have more good themes for Emacs, which I think is nice. Let me just disable the tab bar because we are finished with that. And let's see where we are, folks, with the chat. So yes, the HSL, Quashor says, hello, Prot on the chat. Hello to you too. Morten says, I have Emacs master checked out from Savannah, but when I try to do git pull, it creates hundreds of rebase conflicts. Did you make any changes? Why would it do that? Like, um, probably you did something. Like, otherwise, if you are pulling, it's just pulling. Like, it shouldn't have to do resolve the conflict resolution. Or maybe you checked out master and then you merged another branch or something like that. Like, check what you are doing. Because me, I'm always building from source. And just to show you what I am basically doing, I will have like builds Emacs here. This is Emacs, and what I will do is just a git pull over here. Of course, it so happens that Savannah is down right now, so tough cookies. What can we do? But it would pull, and then it would just show me the changes. Maybe I can pull from GitHub Mirror. I think I have a remote. No, I don't. Maybe I just called it GitHub. Yeah, okay, I have. So I pulled from GitHub and it just pulls. This is the idea. It works. Savannah is frequently down these days, by the way. I guess it has to do with those AI bots keeping, they keep pinging the Savannah servers and they cannot cope with it, it seems. But yeah, check. Generally, if you have conflicts, it means that you made some changes. Pranshu says, will you add more Doric themes, possibly one with having an accent color very different to main color? I have thought of one, which I think is a striking contrast, but I will keep it a secret. Let's see. Anshul says 10% what? Darker or brighter? Let's go to the code and see what the answer is. I deleted it. What did I do? Let's come here and you will see the answer. It will be lighter or darker depending on if the theme is, if the color is dark or light. So actually, I wrote this function earlier. So let's see what this function is doing, folks. Okay, let's understand this a little bit. Let's break it down. Okay, we have color name to RGB. For example, if I give it a color value, let's use actually the color here. Okay, so let me not use a pure black. Let's use the color here. This will return red, green, and blue. These are the three channels of light. Okay, red, green, blue, and they are from 1.0 to 0. 0.0 if you want. And now we are closer to 0, which is the black, and 1 is the white. This returns a list of 3 elements. So with pkSlet, what we are doing is we are let binding the return value of this, which is a list. We are let binding this to this. So the first element is called R, which is the red. The second element is called G, which is the green. And the third element is called B, which is the blue. These are the 3 channels of light. Okay? And now that we have those 3 colors, we say, let's see the color dark P here. So we take this color over here and we say, okay, is this a dark color? Yes or no? And it says yes in this case, which is true. And if it is a dark color, what I want you to do is run the function lighten. If it is not a dark color, then darken. And we bind this to fn. And finally, what we do is we call fn on the original color that we defined with a given percentage. And the percentage here is acceptable by these functions. And basically, this is what we are doing. But you see here, you do this with 30%, and it is a yellowish color. Technically, this is a yellowish color. So technically, it's not wrong, but it's wrong in the spirit of it, not in the letter of it, as it were. Like if you do like a 10%, for example, it looks still towards gray. But as you lighten it, it then looks more yellowish. But technically, as I said, it's correct. It's not wrong, but it looks off. That's the idea. Let's see. To lighten or darken, you actually need to go to the XYZ color space, says Morton. Um, Interesting. I don't think they have that in color.el, or do they? Let's see, color lighten. Because me, I'm happy to go to any color space. No, they don't have. They have the HSL, and then they have the name. So basically, internally, they do. Actually, let's see what they do internally. Internally, they converted to RGB, then to HSL. They lighten the HSL. They go back to RGB, and then they go back to hex. So that's what they do. Like, of course, this is correct what they do here, but again, the HSL space. So they don't have. I don't know. Do they have an X, Y, Z, as you say? What is it? They do have sRGB to XYZ. Interesting. So probably that is something we would need to define. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about the color spaces, folks. So even though I do a lot with themes and I can tell you a little bit about color theory and color harmonies and all that, I don't know that much about color spaces. So the more you work with something, of course, the more you learn. Like, you can be working with themes for all your life and still learn something. Let's see, where are we even? Here. But let's see, what else do we have? Pranshu says, no, please tell us. So I will tell you, it is a light theme with a pronounced accent color. So there you have it. And you can expect a dark theme that is like that as well. Morton says, when you reduce RGB, you reduce all components the same, but the visual response to those colors is not the same. Yes. Um, and yeah, basically the point is that you don't want to just do it on paper. Like, you also want to see how it feels. Like, sometimes, for example, you want to have things be different for them to look similar. I know this sounds strange, but other times you want things to be similar for them to look different. Like, for example, here, the color here is very different from the color here. Like, it's quite different. But because this gets an emphasis, it gets a bold weight in this case, they don't look that different. So if I were to use the same color and add the emphasis, then they would look really different. Whereas now, because I use a different color with the emphasis, I brought them closer actually, but with the emphasis, they are still different. So it's these sorts of things that you need to be mindful of when you do any kind of design work. And actually, to this point, the same is true for my font, which is a modified version of Iosefka, aporetic fonts. You need to make things different sometimes for there to look consistent. And at other times, you need to make them similar for there to look consistent. So it's a general point of what I'm saying here, which you can understand in practice through everyday practice, through examples. Trump is bad for my use case. And I think, yeah, Trump can be slow. I never had any luck with Trump. And for developing remotely, it is unsuitable for me. Okay, so there's that. Let's continue, folks. Where are we now? I completely forgot where we are. Ah, yes, I want to try. I did the tab bar. So what I want to do now is the tab line mode. Yeah, we have the same problem. Let's see, tab line inactive. And no, let's see, list faces display. And let's search for tab line. Ah, it's called tab line tab. And then there is a current. Okay, so where is the tab line tab? Okay, let's take this out of here. And then let's go to tab and let's have this. Let's introduce some space here. Let's try this. And did I remove it from the shadow foreground only faces, I think? Okay. And let's see, folks. This doesn't look right. It didn't change it. Or one second. What did we do? Shadow faces. No, so let's go to the shadow faces here. And now let's see. Tab line tab. I did make it darker, but let me just do here actually FG main. Let me see what is happening. It's not responding. I don't see it. Even though here it is responding. So, look at that. It's the current tab of the inactive context. So this then is not right. So the tab line tab should inherit the tab line um, tab current. Actually, let me read one second. Oh, sorry. Let me read one second the documentation. Tab line face for selected tab. What? And what is this? Tab line face for tab with current buffer in selected window. If you understood the difference, good, because I didn't. Let's see. Okay, to me this looks right now anyway. Okay, let's see now. Tab line tab inactive. Tab line tab inactive. And there is an alternate as well. Okay, we don't have it. So tab line tab inactive. Let's come here. And we want to take this here. Okay, let's see. Okay, this looks right to me. Let me see if I move around. Okay, let me disable the tab line mode and let's do the global tab line mode. Okay, let's click around. Okay, good. Looks right. Looks okay to me. Okay. That looks okay, and the color is the same as for the tab bar, so I don't need to test it with all the themes. The alternate there doesn't look right. Apply to alternating tabs when option. Tab line face functions include function alternating. Yeah, I must say that the tab line is, yeah, it's something I haven't gotten used to. But now I have to test it, of course, folks. So let's have this. And what we want is the alternating, inactive alternating. And there is the tab of groups as well. Okay, so I have this, and maybe we need to redo the mode. And Doric themes here. So I see different backgrounds. Yes. Uh, but look, this is a minimalist theme. We are not going to support this feature anyway. So alternating. And the reason we are not going to support it is because we will then have to introduce another color. And yeah, I don't know if it's a good feature anyway. Like, I don't see how it helps having too many colors there. Okay, let's see. So if I do this, yes, they all look the same. This is what it should be like. And yeah, that's good. So let's go ahead and commit, folks. We have the neutral color everywhere. Let me see, tabs, etc. Okay, let's commit. Introduce new neutral background and use it for tab bar and tab line. Oh, I should say that this follows from the discussion with Pranshu Dharma. In issue number, I forgot. We will go and check github.com and then my name and then Doric themes, and we will see. Oh, we closed the issue. Yeah, okay, it's here. And we are here, issue 3. And there we have it, folks. That's good. Let's push this. And so off it goes. I think this is a step in the right direction. Now the themes are looking good, and we are good. Uh, Let me see, where are we in the chat, folks, if we have any more comments. I never had any luck with Trump, but we read this. It's the local background color. Maybe that's the point. The baseline for calculations isn't the black 0, 0. It's the local background color. Yes, yes, of course. So it has to be more specialized. It has to be more particularized. So there is that. Hi asks, is it high or HL? I think it's high. Which DE is this? And because these are related, I will answer all of these together. Huswen Lusenberg says, are you still on Debian? And this looks like Mate and XFCE. So this is Debian stable, folks, and this is indeed XFCE. Then we have in XYZ space, you would interpolate between current color and the current white point. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, so of course, if you know how to do that, like if you know what the formula is, then probably you can write it in Emacs Lisp and then even send it as a patch for color.el, because I see no reason why it wouldn't be accepted there. So yeah, consider doing that. How long have I been streaming, folks? I have no idea. It's I started at 11. Oh my goodness. It's 20 past 1 almost. So because if I start now something else, I will go for another hour. I say let's call it a day here. Let's stop here. I wanted to do more about denote. I I have to work on denote.el and then denote-org. I did a little bit on denote-sequence earlier, but it took me longer than I expected here with the themes. And we also talked a little bit. Well, I talked, you wrote anyway. So there is that. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah. So exactly 2 hours and 20 minutes is correct. So yeah, that's too much. Uh, well, not too much. I could go for longer, but you know what? Let's continue. Why not? Why not? Let's continue because I have a meeting at 15 past 2. So let's continue until, let's say, until we do another thing and whatever that is. Let's see. Let's delete the Doric themes and tell here Pranshu, but you are in the chat, of course, so you know it. Let's say I made some changes where I introduced a new background. Give it a try and let me know what you think. Okay, comment. Let's go to the note. And in the note here, we have Jean-Philippe, who is one of the regular contributors to the note, suggest a change. And the change pertains to the removal of an optional parameter in the note format link. And this optional parameter is used by other helper functions, denote link prepare links, and I think here is the denote link make links. So there is that. And what I told Jean-Philippe is that we use this in denote-org, the package denote-org, and the idea is that we should remove it from there. So let me open denote.org here. And I believe I wrote some changes the other day. Yes, so I have some changes here. But let's undo everything and we will see this together. Okay, so let's go to the test silo first. Denote test silo. And let me evaluate this buffer. Let's go to the denote test silo here. And let's create a new file of type org. I want to test org dynamic blocks with dates. Testing, denote. This is the point, and this is a test. And what I want to do is to insert links. And let's insert links to test files. It doesn't really matter. And let's include the date here. And now the date will look like this at the end of the links. So let me just have the same here. Let's have that with the date and let's have it without the date so that we can compare. Okay, so Jean-Philippe says that we should remove that parameter and I agree with it. So I will go ahead and merge this pull request. Let's do that first. Merged, thank you. I will make the changes to denote.org right away. Okay, good, like that. Let's go to denote proper and let's pull in the changes. And that's good. Here, this we don't need. And let's evaluate here. And let's dismiss denote now. If I were to do this now, I will get an error. Yes, correct. I got an error because, of course, I am using an extra parameter which no longer exists. This is the expected behavior. So let's go here, folks, and search for denote link. and find the helper function. So we have the prepare backlinks. We don't care about that. Insert links is what we care about. So we have insert links here 3 times. Okay, so let me just search for this in particular. Okay, and so the problem is that we are including the date there, whereas we cannot rely on this. And so what I want to do then is we have a user option in denote link format, denote link description format. So what I need is to define a function which let binds the denote link description format, format link description, no, insert links, let's call it. And it will be 2 files, and it will be with an optional include date, and it will have to be with an optional ID only. Insert links to files with optional ID only. Insert links with the corresponding files identifier as the description. Otherwise, use the title of the file. And, sorry, with optional include date, append the date of the file in year, month, day format, like that. Actually, I will do it like this, in this format. Okay, here is the plan. So if it's ID only, then yeah, I have to think a little bit about how to do this because this is the function that we want to use here. And so no other sorting. The include date doesn't exist. The idea is that if, sorry, if let's do it like this. If let include date. So if this is true, we are just checking for this condition. We are not binding any variable. Then what we want to do is to set the denote link description format to I think this. Let's see. What is the value of this? What are the format specifiers? T is the title or the front matter. I, capital I. Capital I, like this. Okay, so let's have that. Okay, and then insert all this, and here it will be the ID only. Okay. Okay, we can actually simplify this. Let's do this. Let the denote link description format, and if include date, then the format will be that. Otherwise, the format will be the default format. Okay, this looks better to me, easier to reason about. And now that we have this helper, let's go ahead and use it here. And the way we want to use it is with files, this, and include date, but is include date used in only this place? And so I would say we don't need that either. Let's have it here. And maybe I can save this. Okay, let's see. And probably it's the same always. And we don't need this either, but I will confirm. Yes, we don't need it. And here it's the same. Let's see. Okay, include date. Is include date used anywhere else? Let's see. No. Fantastic. And so we only have now one call to this. And let's go to our silo and see what we did. No, actually, I don't want to go to the silo. I had this file. Let's see here. Control C, Control X, Control U, error, void file. So typo on my end, most probably. Files, ooh, no. It's maybe the call to this that has the typo. Indeed, there it is. And so, of course, the file error is everywhere. Here, let's see. Desk. Oh, what is the desk? What is desk? No, I cannot do this. Toggle debug on error. And let's see what we are doing. Ooh. Nil. Denote format link. Let's see. Insert links. Okay, let's see the denote insert links. Oh, it got two nils here. That doesn't look right. Because of course, denote insert links include, no, these are fine. These are fine. Okay. And let's see the description format. What was the description format? By default, okay, it's a function which does that. So eventually, we do insert links. And let me see what is the parameters here for the current file type, ID only and no sort. So for the current file type, ID only, no sort. So this I would say is correct. And prepare links. What are the parameters here? Same parameters. I would say this is correct. And what is the problem? Denote format link. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what is desk here? Ah. Ooh, denote format link. So it seems that the error is in denote format link rather than in what I did. Let's go to denote then. No problem, no stress. Maybe there is an error in what Jean-Philippe contributed, but that's not a problem. We all make mistakes. I do it all the time. Let's see. But maybe there is no mistake. Okay, so we will see. Here it is. 1 second. Whatever you do here, you return the description. That's the idea. That doesn't look right to me. Prepare link to file using description. No, this is definitely not correct. So this has to go completely. Okay, let's see. Let's see, where are we? Denote-org. Here, let's go to our file here. Ooh, not enough arguments for format string. Oh, so we need the description there. Okay, okay. So, okay, there is a format there. I didn't see it. Okay. So it's that this 1 second. So outside of the cond, up, 1 second. Where is the cond? Out after this description. Okay, okay. So like this. Okay, this is the correct. Yeah, makes sense. So it was just instead of desk, it's description. Yeah, this is good. And let's see here, folks. This is not good because now we got the date in a longer format than what we want. Actually, I think this is better because it's easier to make sense of. So I am inclined to keep this, but let's see, description format. Let's see if we have a format specifier for the date, the same as I. So this would return the identifier. So if we want to have exactly the same as before, we need to define a function. And the function, if it is a function, it is called with one argument, which is the file, and should return a string. So in the interest of consistency, even though I think this is actually better, let me just define that function here. So if it is date, let's have it here. We don't even need to define the function. We will return a lambda, which takes a file. And then what it does is let the file type be the denote file type heuristics of file. And here it will have to have an asterisk. The title will be denote retrieve file name title, title or file name. I think this is the one. Return the appropriate title for file given its type. This is the correct for file type. From file, the file type. This is what we want. And then the identifier is the denote retrieve. Oh, sorry. Denote retrieve identifier. File name identifier of file. This is the plan, and then the date. We have the denote date. We have functions denote date, denote parse date, ID to date. I think that's what I want. But if ID to date is the one, it's ID to date. That should be made public, denote ID to date. Convert identifier string to blah, blah, blah. Let me 1 second go to denote, folks, because why would this be private? Okay, so let's make this public. Define obsolete function alias, and it's the same, but now, what is this fly here? It keeps annoying me. Okay, so we have this. This is the second time that is called. So let's change it. This is good. Let's evaluate, go to the manual. No, 1 second. For developers, common building blocks for developers or advanced users, data retrieval, front matter, blah, blah, blah. Common building blocks looks right to me. And here we have, where do I have? Here, F index. Okay. And then it's a function, which is this, convert identifier to date of form to date string of the form year, month, day. Made public as part of dev. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, stay there. Okay. Good. Let's commit this. First, the fix typo here. Fix typo in. This was changed by Jean-Philippe, and this Gagné GI in pull request. And let's find 596. Okay, the denote in pull request 596. Okay, good. We did that, and now let's make denote ID public, but let me make sure that I don't have anything else that I am committing. This is good, and this is good. Make denote ID to date public. Off it goes. Oh, what did I commit here? Oh no, this is wrong. Yeah, this was, oh my goodness. How do I undo this? I have to revert. Let's revert the commit here. I was trying it out, but did not mean to commit it. We are discussing this with the author in pull request, and yeah, that's the other pull request, folks. So yeah, sometimes these mistakes happen. No problem, no stress. Let's come here and in pull request 606 here. Okay, stay there. There. Okay, let's commit that. And I think I don't have anything else. It's this one. Okay, we will get back to that. Okay, we did the change we wanted to do there. Let's come here now. So denote ID to date, we can use this. Oh, I don't know if I evaluated it. So let me go back to denote, eval, put this out. No, actually, delete it like that. We don't need it. And now let's use the identifier here. Okay, so this is our function. It takes all these, and then all it has to do is format this. And so we have the title and we have the date. This is what the function will do. Okay, let's go back to our code blocks. How are we doing in terms of time? We are within our time. Yeah, there it is. And let's confirm that this works. Beautiful. So I will make this change as well, folks. Even though, as I said, I liked the other thing. So I will add here a to-do. Consider making this more flexible. The style we have now is what we have had since this feature was first introduced. But maybe users prefer to have a different format. Okay, we will see how to do that. I think it should be, maybe this whole function should be an option. But let's see. What are the issues here? Yeah, nonsense, no problem. Let's go and do this. I forgot the chat for a while, folks, but I will get back to you because when you are coding, you want to be a bit focused on the task at hand. So tweak how we insert links that may include their date to um, match the node L changes developments. Okay, push and good. So that was good. Let me see. Where are you folks in this chat? Goff M says, "Hello, Prot. What a nice surprise. Your coding streams are very interesting." So thank you. I think I read this earlier, but anyway. Tak says, "Hello, Prot. Hope you're having a nice day. I'm fine. Thank you very much. I'm having a very good time here, actually. Coding in Emacs, doing fun activities. So yeah, that's good." Emil says, "Hi, Prot. Thank you for what you do. You are welcome. Because of you, I've been using Emacs for a few months now. You are a real inspiration. So I'm happy. I'm happy to help however I can. I think Emacs has a steep learning curve. It is different from other applications in general, but there is a charm to that. And me personally, I really like it. So yeah, enjoy the Emacs journey. Real says, "Greetings from Oslo, dear Prot." So greetings from the mountains of Cyprus. "Hope you are well, and I really like your shirt." I am fine, thank you. This shirt, I've had it for many years now. I don't remember how many years. And I believe I talked about it in one of the many videos I do. And the idea is that there was this traveling merchant, and he was selling clothes, and he was like, "Hey, my friend, come here, like, let me sell you this shirt." And he was trying to peddle various clothes that he had there, and I was like, "Well, I don't look, I don't have money, so yeah, I cannot." And he was like, "No, no, no, it's really cheap, I insist, like, come, check, check, check." And he was showing me, and "Look at this, it's very nice." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is nice, but I don't have any money." And eventually he's like, "You know what? I like you, so you will have it for free." And I'm like, "Yeah, fair, fair enough." And yeah, here it is. It is nice. I enjoy it. So there is that. Folks, I think I should stop now because I could go on, but if I start now something else, I don't want to leave it in the middle. I prefer to finish it, and I don't know if I will have enough time if I start something else. So I think this is a good place to stop. We did what we had to do with the Doric themes. We did what we had to do with denote-sequence, denote-org, denote proper, the main package. There is this other pull request here which I still need to discuss with the author. So we will get to that for sure. But I will leave it for either later or tomorrow. I will see. There are other packages of mine that I also need to maintain. There is something with direct preview that I need to check, and with at least one more package. I don't remember which one now. So I will get to those as well. Of course, there is a lot of work, and yeah, one thing at a time, of course. So unless there are any other comments, I will just close the chat and call it a day. And I think I had a very good time. I hope you had a good time as well. And maybe there was something there to be learned too. So there is that. I'm closing it. And yeah, I think there are no comments. And even if there are, it will be like a final goodbye. So take care, folks. Thank you very much for your time. I had a nice noon today, and I enjoyed it. I will continue, of course, maintaining my packages, writing new packages, doing all that. It's fun, and that's why I do it. So you are welcome to everybody. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye. I have to find where the button is to close the stream, which should be this one. So take care, folks. Goodbye.